Alright, so today we're talking about one of these alpha male guru types named Andy Elliott. Now, he's not a typical alpha male person in the sense that he's preaching masculinity and like how to get 1,000 girlfriends in one night using the penis method or whatever they would call it, right? The foreskin tactics. He is a salesperson. Andy Elliott is the founder and CEO of the Elliott Group. He is celebrated as the self-proclaimed #1 sales trainer, having trained an astounding 11,000 companies and 600,000 salespeople. Now that's good, and those are some pretty good accolades to stand on, but I will say I've seen a lot of this guy's content pop up on YouTube Shorts where he'll host these seminars where he's trying to train people to become the best salespeople ever. But some of these seminars and some of these talks that he gives toward the crowd of people that attend aren't relevant to sales at all, and some of them really don't make any sense. And keep in mind this whole time, right, people show up to these not for free. They have to pay a lot of money. Some cases, some people fly from across the country to see this person speak and teach them how to live a better life and whatever. And I'd say some of the advice he gives is just generally bad. Some of it isn't bad, but rather cringe. Some of it's not very useful, and some of it is just utter nonsense. So let's take a look at this first thing I've seen here.
Stop following instructions. Quit keeping your mouth shut. I'm a rule breaker. I don't want to follow the rules of society.
Alright, we've got a contradiction within the first 2 seconds, brother. So you go, stop following instructions, which is an instruction in itself. But I'm not gonna nitpick him. I get what he's saying. I'm just giving him a hard time.
Quit keeping your mouth shut. I'm a rule breaker. I don't want to follow the rules of society. Stop conforming.
I like his passion. First of all, interesting tactic to have the water bottle mic in the same hand. This just seems very uncomfortable. He's got some sort of like a talon grip on this thing. Doesn't seem comfortable, but again, he's not conforming to societal standards where most people would say, hey, just hold that in your other hand and free up some space in this hand to hold the mic better. He would say, no, I have one hand. I can fit a lot of stuff in this thing, all right? Yeah, I mean, again, this is like general advice of like, oh, don't conform to societal standards. It's good if you apply it properly. You know, if you want to start a business and people are saying, oh, I don't know, you know, it's risky, but you genuinely believe in it, then obviously go for it, chase your dreams. But I don't know, just some of the presentation of it just can come across kind of contrived and forced, I would say.
Everybody that's telling you you're okay the way you are, go look at your ATM account. Are you good? No.
Yeah, because after I paid $500 to see you speak, of course my wallet's hurting a little bit. You damn near put a hole in my wallet, bro. It's on fire. $500 to hear you speak about how much money I don't have. Brother, you took it. Give it back.
They're lying to you. Your marriage, you're sleeping in the same bed.
Okay, like, now he's, again, this is sort of the thing where it's like, it doesn't just stop at like, don't listen to society standards, you know, walk on your own 2 feet, start something great, be a remarkable, exceptional person, a generation-defining human, you know, then it's like, you're broke. Okay, well, I guess so. Your marriage sucks. Okay, well now what are we talking about here? Your dog hates you. Your own dog doesn't even want to look at you. He doesn't smell you anymore. He doesn't lick you like you used to. The cashier at the grocery store you shop at no longer tells you to have a nice day. It's like, all right, Andy, what are we even getting at here? Keep in mind, this guy is supposed to be a sales coach. Now we're talking about you're sleeping in the bed with your wife and you need to get like 10 Blue Chews in order to even have a conversation with her now. It's like, what?
You don't have sex every night. Your kids don't look up to you guys. You're living in a fucking shit life.
People pay to see this guy, by the way. It must be some sort of like humiliation ritual to give him money for him to shit on you. Bro, give a homeless guy $5. He'll degrade you for 30 minutes straight to he'll burn you to a crisp. And this guy's like doing it for $500 with a mic and a camera crew and an audio visual team making sure he's coming through clearly.
And we're gonna draw the line in the sand today. Everybody write this down. From today forward, we will no longer tolerate weakness.
Yeah, what most of this had to do with one another, I don't know. He's talking about your kids won't look at you. What? Your ATM doesn't work. What? Your wife doesn't like you. What? Like I just don't know what the message of this is, right? He starts off with something pretty clear, like, oh, defy societal standards, and now it's like, don't be weak or else your kids will hate you. What do those two things have in common? Tell me, Andy.
Come here. I'm gonna grab this guy in the pink hat. Come here real quick. Come here. Let me show you what I'd fucking do with him. Steve, how old are you?
52.
Steve is 52 years old. I could call him Comeback Steve. If you'll physically get right and you'll take care of your family, you'll make more money than you know what to do with. Steve, take your shirt off. Come on, Steve.
What? What are we doing here? What is the point of this? Are you gonna be like, oh, you're not in great shape and that's why you're depressed? And if you get in great shape, you won't be depressed? Did you need Andy Elliott to tell you that?
Okay, listen. I'm gonna give Steve $10,000. Okay? Listen. And that's fuck you money for Steve. Like, But I'm gonna give.
Oh man, the fake like nice guy thing is like, yeah, I'll give him 10K, but that's nothing for Steve. It's I don't know how to explain it, bro, but it's just this certain like slimy snake oily way of like getting him to follow orders or something, you know? It's like if I tell someone I'm gonna give them 10K if they do something for me, but then I say, yeah, but 10K is nothing for you. It's as if like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like they're thinking, well, no, 10K is not nothing for me. 10K is a big deal, but if he thinks that it's not a big deal for me, then he's probably he really believes in me. He's really confident in me. It's like, I don't know. It seems like a loophole to get into someone's brain.
If in 120 days, which will give you 4 months, which he's not that out of shape, okay, he can get a six-pack. Okay, now who thinks Steve can do it? All right, you gonna take me up on this?
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it.
Okay, good. I love it. Hey, I mean this.
Hey, I mean this. I'll give him 10K. I really do. I really mean it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, 100%. This guy never got his 10K and never got his refund for showing up to Andy Elliott Con either. Meanwhile, we got all these people in the audience who had to see him take off his shirt. Yeah, built like a Monsters Inc. character. That was great. I'm sure he's really happy about that.
Garrett, take your shirt off.
Again, what's with the whole... Okay, at a certain point, you gotta wonder, like, it has to be a kind of humiliation ritual. Do these people just come to see him to be requested to remove garments?
Come on, Garrett.
He's rushing him. He's doing it. He's physically taking out. Come on, Garrett. Any day now. By the way, very funny too. Not that this main speech had any sort of legitimacy or point to it, but the whole thing is like, don't follow instructions. Tells him to take off his shirt 3 times, and he does it. He should just say no. Hey, you told me not to follow instructions, so I'm not gonna listen to your bald ass. Take your ass back to the Mr. Clean commercials.
Garrett, how old are you?
29.
Garrett, does this bother you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, doesn't bother you?
Oh, dude, the gum chewing. Garrett. Garrett, just bother you? It's like just there's a certain type of person that I feel like Andy Elliott really represents. It's like that gum chewing, just something about, just everything about him just feels like a profile. Like I've seen people like him who don't do what he does, but they're just a lot of the same sort of characteristics, behavioral manifestations, a lot of same idiosyncrasies, and it just bugs me. He's like a final boss of all those things.
Does this bother you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, doesn't bother you enough.
If it did, it wouldn't have you. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, that line of thinking is great until you realize that it's actually retarded. So it's like, yeah, tell someone something that they don't like. Hey, do you not like having diabetes? Yeah, actually, it really bothers me. Well, you clearly don't hate it enough, because if you hated it enough, you wouldn't have diabetes. So you got cancer, right? Yeah, it's really bad. The chemo took all my hair off. Something you can relate to. It's not great, isn't it? Yeah, but you clearly don't hate cancer enough, because if you did, you wouldn't have it. It's like, bro, I don't think it's that simple. And the thing is, like, working out obviously isn't, to that same tier, and you have some level of agency and autonomy to how you present physically, the amount you weigh, the amount of muscle mass you have, that sort of stuff. You can control that, right? But the truth is, like, there are, of course, some people that, based on their lifestyle and what they're required to do, they just won't have time to go to the gym. And I'm not justifying that, right? Obviously, you can always find time to do some working out, but the people with the most time, I would say, have the least excuses to not be in shape. So I'd say the amount of free time you have should coordinate with how in shape you are. And obviously, the opposite is true as well. Like, the less free time you have, the less I'm expecting you to be in peak shape, I think that's somewhat fair. Not to, make excuses, but if you're working like 12 hours a day, and then on top of that you have a sick mother you have to watch, and then on top of that you have kids, I mean, it's like, are you really gonna have time to get like a 3-hour workout regiment in at Equinox? Probably not. But yeah, again, the whole thing too is like, are you really needing to fly out to see this guy give this conference where he chews gum and shit talks you and takes off your shirt? And this guy's supposed to train people in sales. What about sales was learned here at all? This is also interesting to talk about and worth putting in the video. Andy Elliott had a bunch of articles written on him after a clip from one of his seminars was released where he claimed, if you don't have a six-pack, you can't work for me.
I'm going to tell you this, my entire company, my entire team, if you don't have a six-pack, you don't work for us. It's called, everybody say standard. How about we raise them?
Very interesting. So, very interesting criteria. Now, honestly, that criteria does make sense in some business roles. Like if you're to be a personal trainer or something in, a physical space, then obviously that makes a lot of sense. Or like modeling or something like that. But this guy is a salesperson. He's teaching people how to sell things and how to, connect with people and get them to want to buy stuff. Very mental. I would say actually one of the jobs that doesn't require much physical aptitude in really any sort of way. You could be a fat fuck and still sell people stuff. That's a very possible thing. But yes, we got a lot of articles written about him for that take, and he made this video kind of responding to it, and I think it's worth looking at.
So for all the people that say six-pack or you're fired, screw that guy, hey, screw you!
Bro did the alpha male version of Uno reverse card, brother. Reddit, no you.
Because it doesn't even mean six-pack or you're fired, dumbass.
What? Six-pack or you're fired doesn't mean six-pack or you're fired? That's the most inarticulate, incoherent thing I've ever said. That's exactly what those words mean. Those words don't mean exactly what those words mean. Unless he's saying he doesn't do that, then I'm not sure what he's getting into here. Oh, no way. Yes! Yes! Oh my, yes, bro. This is awesome. Wait till he hears that the person who made this intro for 15 hours straight on his computer may not have a six-pack. That's not good.
Guys, everybody's
nice picture too, the lion in the background. People who use apex predators to convey strength and masculinity are some of the corniest people I think I've ever seen. Like, if you have a picture of like a tiger or a lion in your room in front of a camera or like in your podcast studio to like, you know, mentally convey strength and power and you won't give your enemies any mercy, it's like, I actually think it's very corny and I don't think it makes me feel any sort of way other than cringe.
Understand this. Have a six-pack or you're fired is very simple. I'm going to tell you this, my entire company, my entire team, if you don't have a six-pack, you don't work for us. We're in an era right now where men aren't being the example for other men anymore, and I didn't know when that was ever okay. In my company, I'm a coach. What does that mean? That means I coach people how to have a better life, how to be better for their families, how to look in the mirror, love who they are, how to be their children's heroes, how to kill it in business, how to get everything they want in life. But
okay, 100%, but wouldn't you say that killing it in business, like to a crazy extent, let's say you're making 7 figures a year, you're a millionaire and making millions of dollars every single year, wouldn't that mean that you are an example for other people? Like, if you're killing it in business and you're leading in that respect and you're literally making millions of dollars, would you not say that people would look up to you and respect you, even if you're maybe a little bit chubby? Not even a little bit chubby, maybe just like in normal shape, but no six-pack. I mean, I feel like that's totally fine.
What will you do? You'll run around, you'll be depressed. You'll be another person just lagging around, lazy, not working hard, not caring about their image. I am a salesperson. There's 3 things that are important to me about salespeople. Number 1, their image, how they look, right? You got to get an image coach. So what does that mean? You got to take care of yourself. You got to be fit. Number 2, you got to learn how to speak. Number 3, you got to learn how to sell.
Okay, bro, like, no. Number 2 and number 3 should be number 1 and number 2. Selling? Isn't that the number 1 point of sales? It's like, does this guy think if you go to the gym and you get in great shape and like people are just going to buy stuff from you more often? It's like, you don't have to know how to sell anything. You actually don't even have to speak English. If you just stand there and look pretty next to the thing that you want to sell people, they'll just buy it. Interesting. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Let's fire all your employees and replace them with bodybuilding champions, you know, people with great muscles and aesthetic physiques. You know, basically have them be mannequins and scarecrows next to the products and inventory you're trying to sell, and let's see how quickly they fly off the shelves. They're not gonna fly off the shelves, they're not at all, because these people don't know how to speak or sell. The communication and selling parts are the 2 most important parts of selling things. Okay, 100%.
How the hell is anybody gonna be sold on you or anything you have? It doesn't seem like you're taking care of yourself and you're not sold on yourself. So for me, in my company, I have a standard. Somebody write that down. Standard. It's something that doesn't exist in the world anymore. If you want to dissolve your competition and smash them all, stick to a standard, which the world doesn't have anymore. And if you can have one, you can be the top 1% in the world. So in my company, if you're going to be here with me, you don't have to have a six-pack. To me, you have to have a standard. And I call a standard looking in the mirror and saying, I'm proud of me. I woke up today, I decided to eat grilled chicken, not cheeseburgers. I decided to study and not go to the bar. I decided to help.
Wait. Okay, wait a second. We'll talk about what he's saying in terms of the standard instead of six-pack, but did he just say I chose to wake up and not go to the bar?
I woke up today, I decided to eat grilled chicken, not cheeseburgers. I decided to study and not go to the bar.
Does anyone go to the bar in the morning? I mean, like, I guess congrats if you didn't, but I feel like that's sort of like a free space in bingo. How alcoholic do you have to be to wake up and go to the bar? Maybe he's just saying, you know, just in general, but geez, I mean, I've never thought of that way.
I decided to help people instead of going and complaining. I decided to go to the gym instead of sitting on the couch and watching Netflix. That is what I want. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andy. A lot of you
Was this like a commercial in the middle of his talk? Okay, nice.
Try to spin it off and say, well, man, what if you got a 4-pack? What if you got... Guys, listen to me. That person, their mindset is so far shot, so far gone. Their perspective in life, to what I even said, they can't even receive the word standard at this point because they're so...
Of course I can, but I think the standard for what your industry is should be to sell things. I don't care if they're fat. Like, I genuinely don't. I don't care if they're missing a leg and got it amputated because of their sugar intake being so bad. I just don't care at all. If they're selling products, products, and analytically, the graph is going up. They're selling things. They're making money. That's the standard. This is business.
Now, I do have a six-pack, and a lot of the people in my company, men and women, have six-packs, but I have a few that don't. The ones that don't have six-packs, they are working very hard every day to be 1% better. They're working hard every single day to become healthier, which just really has nothing to do with health, the term the six-pack. It has to do with going home and take care of your family. It has to do with making sure that you're good to your children and you're leading the way and being the example as a man or a woman. It's to make sure that when you get on the phone with our clients who love us, who we push to new levels every single day, we can't tell them to push to new levels if we're not doing it. That doesn't make sense. I'm not going to be a fraud, okay? And a lot of people are. They say do this and they don't do that, and I'm not okay with that. So in order to work for me and my company, when I say have a six-pack or you're fired, have a simple standard. So many people just don't have it. So if you want to level up in life, if you want to go to another gear, you know what? I would tell you, I believe in a 3 little simple system: physical, mental, business. If you're physically fit, you'll be
okay. I mean, 100%. I mean, like, you know, improve these things, but I don't necessarily. I guess he was just like clickbaiting us, rage baiting us to some extent. But yeah, this idea that if you're not one of these, that it's gonna hurt all of them, I would reject that idea. But anyway, yeah. With that all being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media, links are all down below. See you guys later.